That way I can send you that too. Hopefully it'll pick up everything. But so she's loving the bike. She's doing good on the walks. But are the commands kind of hit her there?
Yes.
Kind of there, right? So one thing that I noticed just kind of working with her a little bit, I didn't want to tire her out too much, is just how to teach you guys how to kind of reinforce the commands so they become sharper, right? So we get rid of the negotiation and the laziness. So one thing is take advantage of the leash and have this on her. Oh,
That works.
yes. Yeah, this, sit. Yes, good girl. So when you give a command, right, one thing that I taught her was I taught her how she knows when I'm happy with her and how she knows when I'm upset with her. Not so much upset, but when she didn't do she's not listening, right? So, like right now, sit. She'll hear it when she gives me what I want. Yes, I tell her, right? Yes, and then she knows. And then if I want her to hold this position, I'll tell her, good girl. See, she gets up, I have to correct, and then I'll put her back. So you have to correct her every time she breaks this position, because what I also taught her, she has to hold this position until she hears break. Yeah. So but to teach her the duration, this is where I tell her, good girl, good jersey, good girl, break, and then I'll let her go. Okay. So her corrections are super simple. It's either like you're quitting. Hey, how's it going? You're quitting too soon, and no is for like I don't want to see that, like counter surfing. Yeah. So this is actually so when you're doing this and have like especially when you have guests. When you have guests, you can see how this is so powerful, right?
I know.
So watch. Even when I'm working on recall, come. Good girl. Sit. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Break. Good girl. Good girl. So, what I was telling him right now was when I was working with her, I made it really crystal clear when I was happy with, like, if I gave you a command, like if I tell her, sit. Yes, good girl. Down. Yes, good girl.
Okay.
So the yes is to tell her you did the action correctly. Okay. If I want her to hold the position, like sit. To get her to hold this position, what I taught her was, good girl. Good girl. So yes is you did it right. Good girl is I want you to hold it. Good girl. Good girl. And then I'll tell her break. Okay, now you're free to go. Okay. So if she ignores me though, so if she come. Good calm. If she were to ignore me, I'm gonna grab the lead and I'm gonna correct her. I'm gonna put the pressure on her. So like if I tell her jersey, place. See how she ignores me? I will take the lead and I'm gonna lead her to where I want her. And then I'll even put the pressure to put her down where I want. Yes. And then I'm gonna tell her, yes, that's what I want. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Break. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. So the one thing that I noticed just coming back, she kind of lost a little bit of that, and it's just because we didn't get to have the follow-up sooner, right? So make sure, like when you give her a command and she does it, yes, good girl. And your no's very direct. No. Right? Don't be, if everything's like, yes, good, sit, no, she's not going to listen. She is true working German Shepherd. Like you see how she just kind of paces all the time, right? The other thing I tell her, come, Jersey. Come. Come. Yes, good girl. Sit. Yes. So I taught her how when we walk, there's with me and there's heel. Okay, so if I tell her, Jersey, heel, she has to move with me. She gets a little bit ahead. Heel. Heel. Good heel. Good girl. Break. Good girl. Good girl. So when you're doing heel though, when you're practicing it, because I didn't get to like master it with her, this is perfect. It's nice and short.
Okay.
Like from one end to the other, and then let her go.
Right.
And then as she masters that, then you can ask her to follow you around the whole yard. And then when I would walk with her and I would tell her, Jersey, with me, so she can have the lead. She doesn't have to stay by my side. She just can't pull me.
With me.
With me. Yeah. And it just means
Just
move with
free.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're free, but just move with me. If I move this way with me, you got to move with me. Right? You got to stay with me. Look at, and I just control with the finger.
Yeah.
Right? So that way she knows, okay, if I hear with me, I can have a loose leash. But let's say you're walking and you see another person with the dog, you can be like, Jersey, heel. And then she knows I have to be closer to you. Right?
Okay.
Heel means
Right here next to me on my side.
Right next to you.
With me means you can have the loose leash.
We have another challenge when people are starting to come by the door. So I used this last night and it worked, but there was some barking elements like the bark.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to show you next. So that's why I use out here. So I'm going to show you how I play with her, and then we're going to go inside. I'm going to show you how I handle the door. Okay. So when I play with her, at first I want you guys to leave this on her. Like I developed enough of a relationship that when I would send you the videos, I didn't have it on her. Right?
Oh, okay.
Right? But while you guys are trying to perfect what I was doing, have it on her because it will give you the ability to correct her. Because like right now, like when I first got here, I would tell her to go into a sit and she would lay down on me.
Right.
And
right.
so you have to make sure if you give a command, she has to follow through.
Okay.
There's no other option that you have
Okay.
but to follow through.
Right.
Because if you don't, she's going to learn to negotiate, and then when you go to the door and you tell her place, she's not going to hold her place. She's like, you never make me hold any of my commands, and now when there's an excitement, you want me to hold my command? So what I do is I play with her. I get her excited so I can mimic the challenge of controlling her. Jersey. Jersey. Hey.
Just a fly, I guess.
Yeah.
Toy.
Jersey. Yeah, that's a good girl. That's a good girl. Yes. Yes. Good girl. Don't tell me you're tired already. Don't tell me you're tired already.
She likes that. That's our. We play that twice a day, and she's very, very like flexible.
Good girl. Get good girl. Get good girl. Yes. Come on. Good girl. Yes. Good girl. When she gets it, make sure you play a little tug of war with her. Yes.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Yes, I want her to tug. Good girl. Yes. Yeah, I'll even do this. Good girl. Yes. Good girl. Good girl. And I let her win.
If you tell her out, and she would just.
Yep. You just out. Good girl. Place. So see how I gave her a command? She ignores me. I grab the lead. I put her over here. I put the pressure. And then she has to go place. Now, I'm going to make her hold it until because I want her to make the mistake and break it. So this is how we teach for her to have duration. So you got to hold it, right? It's really good to get her excited and then make her go to place because it mimics, like when someone's at the door, there's excitement.
Right.
And so what we're teaching her is impulse control. See how she gets up?
Okay.
Right there.
So you play with her first?
Yeah, I get her excited, and then I start going into command work. Sit.
Oh, okay.
Stay. Place.
Before
Stand.
you open the door?
No, I come out here and get her excited and do command work so that when we're inside relaxing and there's excitement added, she's already been worked on how to control her impulses when there's excitement.
Okay.
So we have to create it through play because we know she gets play. Break. Good girl. Get it. Good girl. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. Good girl. So we have to create the excitement to mimic, because you never know when you're going to be out in public and something's going to trigger her to get her excited.
Right.
But what you have to learn how to do is when she's excited, how do I control her? Right? So this is a great way of getting her excited and working on commands. So you're teaching her, even if you get excited, I want you to listen to me. Place. And so then so when every time you put her in place, you cannot let her off of that until you give your release word. Every time.
Okay.
So that she will start to learn the habit of holding this until she hears her release word. So that you can do this.
See, that's,
Yeah,
do
see that?
for her. Yeah, it's just
And
stays
this
there.
would mimic someone at the door. I want to go chase and jump
yes.
on them, but I can't. Get it.
So the more you do that, the more she gets.
She learns to control her excitement, right? Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. This is why, like, she's not really food. I mean, she likes her food, don't get me wrong. And she likes her treats, but she's not really treat driven. She's toy driven. She loves to play.
I know.
Right? She loves to work because this is a really big challenge for her. Come. Play. Yes. Good girl. Good girl. So while she's holding that, don't forget every now and then to reinforce it. Good girl.
Okay.
Good plays.
Yeah.
Good job. Good girl. See how she learns?
Yeah.
This is what you need to do to practice so that she learns to control her emotions even at the door, right? And you should be even able to do this, where you create a lot of distance.
Oh.
Ah! You send her right back, correct.
Okay, this is correct. It's right
Yep,
away.
correct.
Yeah.
And if she were to ignore me, I would have grabbed the leash and put her right back in that place.
You grab the leash.
Yeah.
That's why you have it on all the time.
Yeah, when I'm
training.
like you're gonna use it a lot in the beginning, and then she's gonna learn that she can't negotiate with you, and then you can take it off, right? So now that she's holding it, I'll reward her. Get it. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Out. Get it. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Out.
So far,
Yes,
so
good
far
girl.
that's her most favorite toy.
This one? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This one and this one.
This one too.
Yeah.
But she gets more. I will make her a little bit tired with this.
Oh yeah. If you want to tire her out. Yeah.
That's the one.
She's mouthy, so this is why I introduced this to her, because she's that German Shepherd that likes to fight. When police are looking for a working German Shepherd dog, they're looking for this type of energy.
Oh, I
right?
see. Yeah,
She's in a pacing, she's like, she wants to work. Yeah. Jersey, get it!
Jersey.
See, this one she gets over quicker than the flirt pole.
Yeah.
So the flirt pole can be the one that you really bring out, and then when you see she's being mouthy,
Yeah. Jersey.
okay.
Because of
She's gonna fly.
this is
Do you mind
right.
if I just spray that?
Oh, no, yeah, okay. Ah,
How she knocks the hose to the wire.
come. I gotta fix that. Come. So, any questions with that? And then when you're doing place,
Yes, good girl.
move this all around. Don't keep it in the same
in the
area
same
spot.
spot. Okay.
Move it different spots. We want her to start
So
to
when you
associate.
train, you always have this.
When I'm training place,
Yeah.
I like this because it stands up, so it stands out.
Yeah.
So it's easy for them to identify. And then it gives me the ability to move it different locations
Yeah.
so that she understands when I say place and I point to this, she knows it's not, you know, okay, wherever this is at, this is where I have to transition, right? Now, the other thing that you can do is when you're just practicing with the leash, come, sit. Good girl. Down. Good girl. Yes. You can even get yourself a little bit longer one because I want you to.
Oh, I have the longer one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, will you grab it real quick?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She can't resist this sometimes. And I do it.
Yep, that's okay. This is good. This is
Because
good.
I remember when she was still a puppy,
Yeah.
she would play with this, you know, she would
Go after it.
go after it.
Good girl. Good girl. Good girl.
There you go.
Yeah, perfect. So with this one,
So I have not used this one yet.
okay. So with this one, this is how you're gonna work on her recall. So you want her to get to the end of the line, right? And then what you're gonna do, you're gonna call her, Jersey, come. Come. Yeah,
Sorry.
Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl. Break. And then just move with her, okay? Let her get distracted into other things. And then you're gonna recall her. If she ignores you, start reeling her in like a fish. Okay?
Oh yeah.
So like let her she gets really interested in like flies and stuff like that, right? And then I'll tell her, come. She ignores me, I'm gonna start reeling her in.
Oh, okay.
Right? And then you can position her where you want her. So you can even tell her to come, and then when she comes to this position. You tell her to come, she comes to this position. Whatever position you want her to finish at, you need to make her consistently do it every single time you tell her to come. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So,
Again.
so, like, do you want her to come like this, or do you want her to come so where she's on your side?
On the side.
Okay, great. So you're gonna let her go. Okay. Let her get interested in something else. Try to keep the lead high so she doesn't get tangled in her feet. Right? Then you're gonna call. Chris, come. She ignores you. I'm gonna start.
So you pull the rope.
Yes, good girl. Good girl. Break. And then you go. Now, the point of the rope is that when I tell her to come, if you ignore me, I'm going to use it. That's fine. I'm not calling her right now. So, but you have to condition her to what you want, and it has to be consistent every single time. Remember, dogs learn through consistency and repetition, right? Grace, come. And so I move away from her. I'm reeling her in. Good calm. Good calm. Good girl. Break. And then you let her go. When you're doing this exercise,
So when you, that's the idea. The idea is when you ask her to come, she would go.
she will come right to you
Yes.
and sit right by your
Sit by
side
your side.
and ready to go.
So
Okay?
so the rope becomes
It's like a fishing line.
fishing line.
Like, so, because right now, if I give her a command and I don't have control, if she ignores me, then she will learn that she doesn't have to listen to me.
Exactly.
So if I do it with this,
You get frustrated.
exactly. So if I do it with this and I recall, you have no choice but to listen to me. So I will condition her over repetition to listen to me. Now when you do recall, I'm not gonna call her right now. Hey. When you're working on recall and you let her go out, don't recall her too soon. Give her like maybe a minute or two in between recall. Come. And I move away. Look at how I move away to her to become a moving target. Good girl. Good girl. Yes. Good girl. Good girl. Break. Good girl. Don't like let her out and then recall her. Then let her out, recall her. She'll get frustrated.
I know.
Right?
I know.
Give her some time to kind of sniff and get interested in something, move with her.
Attention.
Yeah. And then like after a couple minutes or maybe about a minute, then you can recall. You can even from here, Georgie, place. And if she ignores you, yes, good girl. Good girl. This will even allow you, if you're working on place,
I know.
if she breaks it,
Distance,
you just step on it and put her right back.
Yeah.
Good girl. Break. And if you say it and she doesn't get up, that's okay. She knows when she hears it, she's allowed to move now.
Yeah.
She's tired. Right? She's tired, you see, right? If you work her like this, you will get a tired dog.
Okay.
So we would do this for, guys, 10 or 15 minutes. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. We would do it for like 3-4 times a day, and we would spread it out along with our walk, along with the bike ride. Right. That's why she was probably a lot more calmer when you first got her back. Because I had got a lot of that energy out. So what we would do is in the morning, she would eat her breakfast. We'd go in the backyard. We'd do 10 minutes of command work. And pick one thing and focus on that. So the flirt pole, right? And you can bring the mat out, right? The mat, and you work on place with the flirt pole, right? Then you're done. Then later in the day, maybe you bring just the long lead and you're working on recall. Okay, and you do it for 5 or 10 minutes, and then you're done. Okay, and then later in the evening, you can do the bite work, or you could just do, She has to hold that position.
We've been biking a lot.
She loves that, huh?
Oh, yeah. She would pull my bike. It would like pull, so I don't have to like. I like it.
Yeah, and let her, because that'll tire her out.
I know. Now, how do we deal with barking? I heard her bark, I think twice already with two occasions. Yeah.
So
when I use this, I think it's more response. It's more response to say no.
Yes.
Okay.
The more you practice the command work, and the more you practice the correction, the quicker she will respond without the tools.
Okay.
But the tools will help reinforce your correction. So it's not a bad idea. You even have this, letting her drag it around the house. She jumps on the counter, because this is what I did to get her to stop. I had this on, she jumped on my counter, no! And she was like, okay, I'm done with that. Right?
Yeah.
And so with the bark though, instead of saying no, I would say enough, or I don't want to kill a dog's bark. Because you never know when she's going to be barking for a purpose.
Oh, that's right.
You know what I mean? So what I want to do is control the bark. So if I'm teaching her no is behavior I don't want, like I don't ever want you on the counter. That's just no. Don't ever do that. Right. But I do want you to bark. But if I tell you enough or time to stop.
Right.
So when you're going to do the bark, enough, settle. Whatever command you want to use to turn it off, but don't tell her no. Because I don't want her to start thinking, well, am I not supposed to bark? And you start suppressing the bark. It's a German Shepherd, she wants to bark, right? Someone's sneaking around your house, someone's causing problems in the house, you want her to, you know what I mean? So you want her to show the German Shepherd, right? Because you're 9 times out of 10 people will be like, okay, I'm good, I'm just gonna go. You know what I mean? So
when it comes to the counter,
no, so when it comes to behavior you never want to see, that should always be no, okay? So that way she understands the concept. No means don't do that. Enough, settle. These mean just turn it off.
Yeah.
Right? Just
So maybe because those are the two things, you know.
That's what I use. And no. Right? So
and if she's playing too much with the small one, no. because we don't.
Because does the little one ever initiate the play?
No,
It's always her.
it's always her.
Then you can tell if you don't want her. If the little one never wants to play with her, then you can use her. Right. So that she learns not to play with the little one. Okay. So you could do that. The other thing you could do is you could just come out here for 5 or 10 minutes, and you could do command work with the lead, right? So you could just do with me, right, and then sit.
Oh,
Yes, good girl. With me. Yeah. Good girl. Break. Good girl. Come on. Good girl.
She's tough.
Yeah, she's done. But you can. But the purpose is when you come out, change the exercises so that she gets comfortable walking with the leash. She gets comfortable learning some impulse control with the exciting tools. She gets comfortable with the recall. She gets comfortable with place. But more importantly, she gets comfortable taking those commands from you guys, right? And less talking is actually going to be better. Just be more direct. Yes, good girl. No, right? And then the commands: sit, stay, come, heel, with me, right? Those kind of things. Break, right? Those are all the things that you guys should be consistent with, and really kind of the only things you guys should be verbalizing out. Yeah.
Basically, mind conditioning.
Yeah. And so then she just, and then when you guys aren't doing this, she's going to be in such the habit of doing it that when you're just, someone rings the doorbell, you could be like, place, and she's like, oh, I know exactly what that means, right? And then she knows she has to hold it until she goes great, because you've been doing it through repetition and consistency. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that way.
While she's on training, we're getting always sold by her parents. Every time we speak with
You're going to do it probably the first handful of times, and then you're going to see her figure it out. She's super smart.
yeah, she figured out
She's
yesterday.
super smart. So maybe a handful of times, and then what I want you to do is leave it on, but don't use it. Just verbalize.
Okay.
Okay. And then if she responds, then you know you can start taking it off. But if she ignores you, then you know you still have to use it, right?
It's good to have that most of the time.
Right now.
Within the house.
Not,
Yeah.
not especially
Supervise.
tomorrow we have a party in the house.
Yeah.
So we put the collar on.
Yeah.
Should we put the leash together or just
Yeah.
the collar?
You can leave it like that. I will typically leave it like that. I like it. I don't want it too long where it's going to get caught up in the furniture.
Right.
But I don't want. But I want something so that if you need to step on it, something to grab versus trying to chase her. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing, right? So. But what I was mentioning to him, real quick, when you're doing the workout here, less words are better.
Okay.
Keep your commands. Yes. Good girl. No. And then your commands. Sit, stay, come, with me, heel. Right? And then the other thing I was mentioning too, when you're doing the exercises, don't try to do them all in one setting. Focus on
just one.
Yeah, focus on the flare pull.
Right,
Then you
right,
focus on the bike work. Then you focus on the recall. Then you can just take the leash and then focus on the heel and the with me. Right? And good. See how she's still with the recall? Come.
Musician, I see it, Jason. Musician.
Yeah, we teach basically like that.
That's why you want that. Because what I want you to do is, when you're working on recall, let her brain go into exactly what we deal with right now.
I see.
And then recall her. When you see her brain chasing that, then recall her. Because then she's gonna realize, oh shit, even when that's not on, I've been conditioned that even though I'm chasing the butterflies, chasing the flies, chasing the gnats, oh, they're calling me. I gotta come.
Yeah.
Makes sense,
Okay.
right? So the other thing too is you can just have this leash and work command work with her. If you're gonna do heel, kick one side, stick to it. I don't care if it's your left, I don't care if it's your right. If you look it up, everyone can tell you should heel to your left. I don't really care. I like my right because my right is my strong side. But you guys pick whatever side you want, and you can just do command work like this. Yep. Good heel. Sit. Good sit. Down. Good girl. Good girl. And you do that for 5 or 10 minutes. Just walking with the leash. That'll empower you guys when you go out there. And you see how quick she responds to the prong, right? She gets up, because I didn't break her. I can do that. And bring her right back. I'm gonna put her in the shade though. Right here. Good girl. And then you can ask her to hold it for a little bit. I developed a little bit of duration there. She can hold it for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Right? And test her. Because I want her to make the mistake, because then that gives me the opportunity to work a correction. Like, you don't get to decide when you get to get up. I do that. Right? Jersey, break. Good girl. And then you just move. And now she's allowed to get up. So she'll start to differentiate. When I hear break, now I'm free to get up and do what I want. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Right? She's super smart, guys. She was so much fun to work with. Like, I got a lot in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? The bike, the command work,
Right.
the leash work, all this I got in 2 weeks. So,
I'm going to know about all this stuff now. This long thing.
Yeah.
What purpose it is. Yeah, we're okay with all this stuff, and then we can move this.
Move it around on purpose.
Move around.
Move, yeah. Always
We
change.
learned that when opening the door, I think it's better to have the leash, like with the thing, to
Yeah.
control, because I think that last time.
Yeah. You want to see the door exercise real quick with this and the color? Yeah. Any questions with this?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Okay.